This is Frederick Meekins of the Issachar Apologetics Research Institute. Within their respective contexts, all religions and systems of belief possess at their core a mythology or historical events that the adherents hold to be true, and around which subsequent doctrines are derived from or inspired by. For example, Christians view the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus as the seminal event of their faith. Muslims trace the founding of their religion back to the revelation of the Quran to their prophet Muhammad. Likewise, though they may differ ultimately as to other details and implications, as could be said of any belief system with competing schools of thought and denominations, even casual observers of ufology and UFO movements know of certain key events sparking interest in the question of life from beyond the earth and its repercussions for man's place in the larger universe. One of what is now one of the most prominent events looked to by even the most casual of ufological enthusiasts is the incident claimed to have occurred in Roswell, New Mexico in July 1947. At that time, the military observed on radar over the course of several days an unidentified flying object. Following a thunderstorm, area rancher Mac Brazel went to check his holdings. During the survey, Brazel discovered a unique variety of metallic debris scattered across a sizable area and a trench several hundred feet in length gouged into the earth as if by some manner of impact. Brazel talked over what he had seen with his neighbors, the Proctors, who suggested that he might have discovered a crashed UFO or a downed government project. As a result of this discussion, Brazel went into town to notify the sheriff. The sheriff, in turn, reported the incident to military intelligence officer Jesse Marcel. It is unlikely public interest in this account and speculation about it would have continued to increase to this very day, if not for a variety of circumstances surrounding the incident. On July 8, 1947, a press release was issued by the Public Information Office under the orders of the 509th Bomb Group at Roswell that the wreckage of a crashed disc had been retrieved. A second press release was issued the next day that the mysterious debris was actually nothing more than a weather balloon. However, as the years went by, those whose curiosity was roused by the incident could not let it rest as a case of the imagination initially getting ahead of the calmer, more rational explanation of what might have happened. There were simply too many circumstances surrounding the event that later bubbled into public view because those involved did not feel comfortable or even safe in revealing unto the passage of time, and a number of those involved were themselves nearing the point when they, shall we say, were about ready to leave this planet. Even if nothing happened any more exotic or of cosmic ramification than the official explanation of a downed weather balloon, the way in which the government is accused of handling the situation must bear some of the responsibility for the legendary status this case has acquired. For example, mortician Glenn Dennis was contacted by base officials about obtaining small coffins. Upon taking these to the military hospital and visiting with a nurse on staff that he knew, Dennis claims he was threatened by military police and escorted from the premises. Even more disturbing, according to Dennis's affidavit as posted online by the Burlington UFO and Paranormal Research Center, the nurse that is alleged to have drawn pictures of crashed victims of a non-standard human appearance was abruptly transferred to England a few days later. These two, however, were not the only ones to endure mistreatment less than forthright at the hands of those higher up the chain of command, dealing with the aftermath of whatever it was that might have crashed. Brazel was escorted by military police to the offices of the Roswell Daily Record, where he changed his story to that of having found the debris of a weather observation device earlier in June, rather than during the period of July under question. It has also been insinuated that, while in military custody for several days, Brazel was threatened with violence if he did not agree to alter his story. In another intriguing incident, Major Marcel took along some of the debris to show General Ramsey when he made his report to the commanding office of the 8th Air Force. Marcel placed the debris, which consisted of items such as shards of metal in the thickness of tinfoil and unbreakable I-beam structures that were 3/8 of an inch by 1/4 of an inch, with indecipherable markings on the general's desk. To get a better idea of where the material had been gathered, Marcel and Ramsey went to the map room down the hall. When the two returned, the contents Marcel had brought to show the general had already been taken and replaced by a weather balloon draped over the floor. Though the Roswell incident may now be one of the public windows into the world of UFOs and speculation into whether or not intelligent life other than and beyond our own might exist, it is by no means the only. In fact, if it was so, it might rather be an example of bureaucratic bungling rather than a conspiracy that has achieved interstellar proportions. However, it is because of the considerable number of occurrences transpiring around that time and ever since that has caused belief in the possibility of extraterrestrial life to grow from being a philosophical possibility embraced only by those of questionable mental stability or those educated beyond reasonable practicality into one of the common cultural assumptions at least assented to, not unlike belief in at least a nominal God by overwhelming percentages of the population. This is Frederick Meekins.